The lesson.
7. Oh yeah.
Now, also looking at 2019, you had a hand in filming Kerser's Pt.7.
Yeah, that was epic. Yeah.
So, I mean, first of all, when did you first catch on to Kerser on your radar, and then how did that Pt.7 thing come together?
River City. I grew up with him. We used to run around young delinquent shit. Before I met any of the hip hop boys, we used to do a lot of dumb shit, and I think we used to, go onto the rooftops and do a lot of that stuff a lot before Brisbane. And he was kind of similar, his connections to graffiti culture and working at the paint store. So we go back longer than a lot of the people that you see me work with. Julian, River City, and he created a pretty strong relationship with Kerser when he was touring. And that grew over years, and it got to a point where I think him and Kerser were a pretty good relationship, and he's pretty much done a lot of his videos, and when he comes up to Brisbane, helps him out a lot, and they hang out, and I think Julian River wanted to take it to the next level, and not be doing it all by himself, and he kind of got me on board. I had a stabilizer, he didn't have a stabilizer, so he just hit me up one day and was like, "Do you want to come to the Versace Hotel to film a Kerser clip with me?" And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding? Of course." And that was a big experience. Like anything, I guess you have an idea of what someone's going to be like, and it was very grounding and humbling. At one point, him and River went out, and I'm just sitting in Kerser's apartment, the Versace Hotel, by myself, just watching telly, and I was like, how many cunts would dream to be in that position?
So this was the first time that you met Kerser?
First time I met Kerser, and I think, that's kind of comes down to just like, being humble, being yourself, and that also that reference, if Julian says, River says, I'm all right, then, it was a unique experience. I got to stay top level Versace apartment. I even got to check out. Scott had a flight in the morning, and then River needed to go drop him off. So checked out of Kerser's Versace Hotel, chilled out in the jacuzzi for a bit before I left.
Now, you talk about, I guess, when you meet someone for the first time versus the perception. I guess what was, your perception of Kerser versus meeting him for the first time?
I think like the more you get into this culture, the more you realize it never is exactly that. And pretty much everyone who is at a certain level of the creative field are the most open-minded, grounded, real people, But obviously growing up watching, the Southwest Sydney movement and knowing what he's like in terms of being pretty closed off from the social media world, I thought maybe he'd be like, a little bit reserved and be like, who's this guy? But he was awesome, man. Great host. And, it's what made me feel comfortable. Got us fucking dinner, hooked us up. And it was just like kicking back vibes. It was real cool.
Yeah, wow.
I think the end of the night was just sitting at the top having a beer, having a chat. And I think the more you do this, the more you realize everyone is the same. We're all just kind of people, just trying to
do their thing.
Yeah, no one's a god. We're all like just chilling and being safe, kicking back, having a beer maybe, or whatever your thing is, whatever your vice is, and no one really wants to be more than that. I think sometimes it's just very grounding.
Yeah, no, shout out to the Curse, man.
Yeah, straight up.
Last album's incredible career, incredible what he's done, and
I think it's a big thing. And no matter like what you're into as well, the more you get into creating, the more you get into the field, you can really start to understand what he did, whether or not you identified with his music. It was the more you do this, you can really see how much of a genius he was and the way he did it. And I think, on face value, and that happens a lot with hip hop culture and, underground culture in general, is people judge it by the face value, and it can be very quick to stereotype. But man was a fucking genius. And the way he did it was an absolute weapon. You got to give him credit for that, whether or not you're into his music.
All through the internet, man. He pretty much was the first to use the internet on that scale, like to get those kind of results with no radio plays.
I think wasn't he the most listened to rapper on YouTube in Australia?
I remember seeing a post of him posting a
2009,
plaque.
I think he was on that.
Yeah, man. Nah,
Yeah.
well, shout outs to him. You know,
Shout out
like
to Kerser, yeah.
hopefully post music, I'm sure he's got planned like business plans
Yeah,
to do some epic shit.
but he's still linking up and still changing it up. You know, he's been working with more busy creatives recently, like the Moon Boy creatives and that new clip they did, and you know that's a whole big movement from the classic style of videos that we're used to.
Mm.
You know, it's all evolving and it's on some LA shit now.
The lesson.
Pt.7. Oh yeah.